Well, slight change of tack today for the harvest log, day 12. This is a field called Aerodrome. It's down in the Vale. This was dug for sand and gravel extraction in the early to mid 80s, and was redrained afterwards, and always had a few drainage challenges along the way, including this year. There's a large mains that crossed under the hedge there and then down into the Carrant Brook, which is just the other side of what we call the Long Meadow down here. So this bit of land here was quite wet. We didn't get to plant it with spring barley as planned, so thought we would take an opportunity to invest in a little bit of buckwheat and vetch to grow as a sort of soil fertility building stroke potential to harvest some buckwheat seeds. So we planted 20 kilos a hectare. This was middle of May. 20 kilos a hectare of buckwheat, 20 kilos per hectare of vetch, and the buckwheat has come really well. It's had no fertilizer or anything, no herbicides, and the buckwheat's come really well. Vetch wouldn't even get a bronze medal for its appearance this year in the Olympic stakes that we'll have later on. So we shall see how this develops, how it grows, and what we can harvest off it. So we use buckwheat quite a lot in our cover crops, so if we can harvest and save a little bit of this, then that will be a bit of a bonus. It's also got a really good relationship with phosphate releasing bacteria, bugs in the soil, which will hopefully reduce the need to put the phosphorus fertilizer on here at a later date, which doesn't really matter too much because it's only a small little bit of the field. Bit of a drill problem here, bit of a drill miss, and we shall see how that grows. It's a fantastic crop for pollinators, honeybees. There's one just on there at the moment, having a good old feed. Butterflies as well floating around in here. Actually, when you get into it, there are quite a lot of bees working this. It's an indeterminate crop, which means it just keeps on flowering. There's another vetch there. Vetch is fantastic for fixing a bit of nitrogen for the following crop. Again, not really going to be enough to do any good in terms of scale, partly because of the population, and also the fact that it's just a little small patch within this field. So a bit of a bare bit there as well. So we've got a fallow plot the other side of the buckwheat, and then we've got a little experiment going on in this field here, which we will come back to later on. So yeah, different harvest, not quite sure when it's going to be ready, but even if we don't get to harvest it, it's doing a good job of providing a fantastic pollinating source. And actually, when I look into it now, I can see an awful lot of honeybees in here. So Richard and Rona will be very pleased. Foragers honey, if you look for them on the internet, they have their beehives here. Not a huge distance from here, actually, probably as the crow flies about 700 or 800 meters. So a really good source for them, which is great to see. So yeah, buckwheat, potentially one of the last crops we're going to harvest.